welcome to the fourth and final review of the evening. Up this time is a Metroidvania title called Unepic. Now, this may be a curious one because this is among the oldest, if not the oldest, game we've reviewed to date.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, Unepic has been floating around since 2011. Hell, the Steam version came out in 2014. Like,
Yeah, I think I might actually have this.
it's possible. Like, there's a Wii U version of this game.
Oh man.
Indeed.
And a PlayStation Vita version. Now, so this has made some rounds. It's just when I made the code request to this and another game, like 3 years ago, and just like the other month, it's like, oh hey, they finally got around to fulfilling the request for this and a game for next week. So yeah, here we are reviewing Unepic, or rather, Twilight's reviewing this because I actually had the game. And here's the thing: I can't stand looking at it. I really hate the size of everything. So over to Twilight for how Unepic fared in his eyes.
All right. Well, this generally I did like it pretty well, but first and foremost, yeah, Unepic's a Metroidvania. It's basically one big parody of various nerd culture stuff. It takes place in a medieval castle. You're fighting goblins somewhat, and it's chock full of references. The writing is chock full of references to everything from Star Wars to Dungeons and Dragons and various JRPGs and whatnot. The story itself is that you're this guy named Daniel who was playing D&D with his friends one night or one day. I'm not sure what time it was, but it doesn't really matter. And he was he was new to the game and whatnot, and he had to stop he and his friends had to stop the session for a moment so he could make a trip to the bathroom, and under the impression that his friends turned the light out on him in the bathroom, he steps back out and after doing his business and finds himself in this big gargantuan castle.
So what you're saying is you got isekai'd?
More or less, just no truck was involved. Or bookshelves or whatever. But yeah, he essentially got isekai'd. Yeah, this now. Yeah, he's under the impression that his friends put some sort of hallucinogen drug in his drink. So while he has a chance to live out this, he believes all of it is in his head, fantasy adventure, he takes a chance to go on this quest. Only to get possessed by a ghost who's unable to actually possess him, but still remain in his body for some reason. Apparently it's due to faith. Apparently Daniel's an atheist. And he eventually finds out that he's apparently there to defeat the owner of the castle, this guy named Harnakon or something like that. Yeah, I think it's Harnakon. Well, that's the general guise of the story. Yeah, so where to start here? Well, in terms of gameplay, it's what you expect from a Metroidvania. You have various weapons that you can acquire throughout the adventure. You can find all these in chests. You can buy them from shops from all around the castle. and as well as collecting various abilities. Then you can learn these spells. I never actually got to use them myself. By the time this day came around, I only managed to get the fire element magic, and for some reason was unable to use the staff that required it. But anyway, yeah, you get healing items. You have a leveling up system, level system, as expected from all Metroidvanias these days. Combat is pretty simple. You attack the enemy while dodging their attacks by jumping or backing off or running away. Though there's some strategy required. At times, the enemies are the various enemies you fight. Not all of them do this, but some of them patrol the various rooms, and you can sneak up on them. And if you have I guess I should talk about the weapons right quick. You have various weapons, ranging from swords, bows, knives. As I was getting ready to mention, you can sneak up on an enemy and use every RPG assassin's favorite method of attack, backstab, and get extra damage on them. Yeah, I mentioned bows. You get pole arms. If you don't know what a pole arm is, that's like a lance or any particular handheld ranged weapon. Handheld melee weapon to be precise. Anyway, wands and axes and hammers as well. You can level up your skill in each of these particular areas, particular weapon. For each weapon, it's got its own stat. Putting a point into that with each level up. Each level up gives you 5 points. Putting a point into that will, of course, increase the effectiveness of the weapon. Not only just damage, but your rate of attack with it, and I feel like there's something else there as well. There's some weapons that require a certain level in that stat in order to use it, so there's that as well. And some weapons have their own specialized uses, or have their own specialties. For example, you can break open crates that you're exploring, and that can only be done with the axes and hammers. Bows you can actually target with, and by using the trigger button, one of the trigger buttons on the controller. If you're using a controller, I say controller is your method of the method you want to be playing this game with. I tried it out with keyboard. It played all right, but controller is a much more it's a much smoother experience. Let's see now. And of course, with a pole arm, you've got a little bit of greater range as well. Wands, I assume, are supposed to give you long-range spell casting capabilities. Unfortunately, I never got to actually use those. You've, of course, got armor as well. Armor will, of course, boost your defense. Some of them have special bonuses on them. The weapons do as well. I almost forgot to mention that. Like pluses to this particular weapon. Like you can find a ranger outfit early on that will increase your capabilities with a bow, and yeah, some weapons will have elemental attributes to them as well. That what you expect um, for a game like this. Let's see now. There's also for healing items. There's also a stat for that as well. Interestingly, you can put a point into potions. This affects their effectiveness. Um, I never did actually put any points into that myself. Never really had the need to most of the time. Enemies have health drops, so it wasn't too big of a deal to keep potions on me or to use them most of the time. There's a crafting system in this game for the potions. There's healing potions. There's the buffing potions. The potion called Potion of Ogre Strength increases your attack strength, of course. There's a poison reduction potion, interestingly. Instead of a cure, you just got a reduction on poison. It's all their stats effects in this game. Um, all stat effects have a limited amount of time that they're in effect. And of course, poison reduction actually increases reduces how long you're poisoned, of course. I haven't seen any other potions for other stat effects like burning and whatnot, but I'm sure they're there. There's other potions as well. There's one for detecting traps, and one that can, I think, turn you invisible. I think that's what it does. I never did actually use it. It's like referred to as a ghost potion or something like that. Anyway, let's see here. What else was there? You get pets as well. Only ever managed to get one. A balloon frog. That's what it was. It was good for eating smaller enemies like bats and I think ants as well. I never actually fight the ants with the frog. Yeah, just mostly smaller enemies, like the bats, for example, and various insect type enemies. And the pets will have their own health, and they also have an energy meter as well. For each time they do something, that energy reduces. If it empties out, then they won't do anything, of course. Let's see here. Trying to think of anything else of interest. There's quests in the game. You'll encounter various NPCs throughout the game who some of them will have tasks for you. Anything from fetching this item for them or pulling a switch, for example. They'll give you a reward. One of my best weapons with a big axe, and I got it for doing a quest. I forget what it was for, though. Some sort of competition. Is all I can remember. Well, anyway, and there's also these other 15 different special quests. Just to say, obviously, you collect gold in this game for shops, and there's a special quest for collecting a special currency called Unepic points. There's a special shop that uses these. Well, not points, but credits, actually. Yeah, there's this specialized shop that has special items you can get by using these points. I never did actually do any of these quests. I came across one of them though, but never actually got around to doing it. They're identified by these purple magic circle emblems that you'll come across throughout the castle. Trying to make sure I don't forget anything else, like any Metroidvania. You'll come across shortcuts throughout this game as well. There's these gates that you can unlock throughout the castle to open shortcuts to be able to make faster trips throughout the castle. There's of course boss battles as well in this game. Of course, to be expected. I think there's 7 in all, but I've only ever fought 2 of them. There's the Guardians and there's the mini bosses. The Guardians you have to defeat in order to reach Harnicon, who's of course your main goal. Your main goal in the game is to defeat him. And they have the keys required to reach him. And the mini bosses, of course, are just that random, unusual encounter. For example, as you will see in the footage here, there's this Easter Island statue head. I forgot the proper name for him. Mona head or something.
Moai statue.
Yeah, that. Yeah, one of the unusual encounters you'll make in this game. Let's see here. I think I've mentioned all gameplay aspects of worth mentioning. At least I don't think I forgot anything. Yeah, my opinion overall of the game itself, I enjoyed it. Yeah, some people are gonna be put off by the size of the graphics, the exploration, and everything. There's an option for being able to zoom in on your character, to zoom in on Daniel, but it doesn't make too much of a difference. And I found personally, I prefer being able to see everything all at once. Since oh yeah, that's right. You do need to light torches. It's just the thing that you need to do, of course, in order to see everything. Something happens when you do light all the torches in the room, but I don't know if there's anything particularly special. You get this little sort of short victory chime type sound when you do light all of them. I guess it's just to say you got all of them. Nothing special really happens, but yeah. Back to my opinion, yeah, I did actually enjoy the game overall. Admittedly, I didn't get to put a whole lot of hours into the game. While I did enjoy it, it is a Metroidvania. You'll be spending most of your time aimlessly running around until you figure out where you need to go. Especially in the beginning part, yeah, that's pretty well mostly just aimless running around until you find out what you need to do. And you're finally given a direction to go in, and you just go from there. But yeah, where was I gonna go with that there? Yeah, just the simple combat was very nice. It's actually kind of refreshing immediately to have a somewhat deceptively simple combat system for to play within this game. Uh, the sneaking aspect with the patrolling enemies was nice and whatnot. It was an overall enjoyable game. Pretty easy to get into. As you know, as I already said, people are going to be put off by the size of everything in this game. Some people might be put off by the writing. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of references to nerd culture type things. Like I mentioned, Star Wars, D&D, so on and so forth. They're not exactly subtle about it. Pretty direct, honestly. Right on the nose. Heck, there's a character here who looks like Yoda, but his name is Yogurt.
Okay, Spaceballs did
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say that.
Yeah, that's a
that's
Spaceball
been
reference as well. Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. It's been a long time since I've watched Spaceballs. Yeah, here's what it was. Let's see now. Beyond the referential humor, some of the jokes in this game, as well as the main character himself, Daniel, is kind of crude, but there's an audience for that. I didn't mind it too much myself, but not everybody's a fan of that sort of thing. Everything from sexual jokes and whatnot. Let's put it out there. Let's see here. But otherwise, it's a funny and humorous game in terms of its writing overall, and the gameplay is fun. Yeah, that's it for the gameplay. The graphics, the artwork for like the characters themselves is good. And does its job pretty well as well. The graphics themselves, yeah, everything is tiny. Kind of works in my opinion. But as I already said, not everybody's going to like this. Guess it'll just come down to preferences. Yeah, personal preference. I personally didn't have any issue with it. But yeah, when it comes to graphical style, like I said, personal preference. I didn't have a problem with it myself. I thought it worked actually quite well for the game. So that's it in terms of the visuals. Music. I hate to say it, but I don't really remember it all that well. Some of your usual what's the word I'm looking for there? Fantasy-ish music. Well, for the game, for the exploration of the castle itself, somewhat dungeon-ish music. It wouldn't be too unusual, and for be heard in Metroid, though it wouldn't be quite the appropriate genre of music for it. There is, of course, battle music for the encounters with the patrolling enemies. I say it's the blood pumping to some degree. Fairly exciting. The boss battle music didn't stand out too much to me. I'm actually struggling to remember it in particularly. But like I said before, personal preference on if you like the music or not. There's a soundtrack for it. So if you play this game, and you decide if you want to get it or not. Personally, I don't think it's really the kind of music you listen to outside the game. But everybody's different. So on the pricing, let's hear now. For Steam, the PC version of this game, they have, the price is currently $12.99, $13. Yeah, I think that's about right. I'm kind of surprised it isn't higher, honestly. I would have expected maybe more $15, perhaps. I'd say $12.99 is a good price for it. If you're not interested in the PC version of the game, it is available. I have imported to originally imported to like Wii U and Vita and whatnot, but it has been ported to the Switch as well. It's actually a smaller price there of $9.99. If you went for a cheaper price and have a Switch and are not a big PC gamer, you can get for that console. It's also on the PS4 and is at the same price. So you got that option as well. Yeah, I actually liked the game overall. I'm actually sad I didn't get to play more of it and get further and actually tried out some of the magic skills in the game. But yeah, that is unfortunate. Anybody got any questions?
No, not
I
really.
think I'm good.
All right then. Yeah, it's a good Metroidvania. If it sounds like it's up your alley, and yeah, you can try out the demo. I think there's a demo available for you. Can try that out. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right, so that'll about do it for not just this review, but this review session. The week ahead. So coming up on Wednesday, October 7th, we'll be having Macario of Reba Games. They are the developers of a curious multiplayer platform jumping game called Jumpala. Looks like if platform jumping were a competitive sport. Also, we were given 3 codes. So, yeah, we'll be showing off the multiplayer during the interview, which means you all will need to make sure everything connects up right before then. See, we do have a Friday show, a Friday interview, as we're welcoming Tom Kale of Inkle back to the program. We'll be talking about Pendragon, and if you recall, we did a review of Pendragon last week. Hopefully he has seen the review that I sent in. That is one of the big points of these review sessions. Not just for us, it's for them and for others. So, anyway, and also we did have a successful launch of The Last News Desk on the Left. That's now happening after Fragments of Silicon. We presume that we will have episode 2 this week. Once again, with Mac, it's kind of we have to take this week to week for now. So, as far as the show itself, we're still working out the kinks and everything, the tech and the timing and all that. it's always a bit messy when you launch a new thing. But anyway, so until Wednesday, I shall wish you good gaming.